All right, the moment that we have all been waiting for, Best of Beauty 2023. It's finally here. I am so excited to share with you all kind of like the best of the best products from this year and beyond. So what I am really excited about in this video is just the way the selection shook out surprised even me. I liked to choose formulas that I find incredibly innovative. So a lot of these products I've definitely raved about before on my channel, but there are a few items that I realized I only mentioned maybe a couple of times throughout the year, but they were products that were in like my everyday makeup bag that I couldn't stop using. I'm so excited about today's video. I hope you all enjoy it. And true Amanda fashion, I'm going to be including demos of nearly every single product that we are talking about in today's video in natural light. If you appreciate that, hi, my name's Amanda. I love to do in-depth and detail-oriented reviews here on my channel. True makeup testing is really inspiring to me, and I would love to have you back. Definitely make sure to subscribe. And you appreciate the in-depth reviews and swatches and demos, you could also give this video a thumbs up if you want to. This is going to be a long one. I hope you guys also enjoy that about the video. We've just got a lot of ground to cover. So I'm going to be first starting with makeup prep. There are a couple of items that I have gone back to consistently for makeup prep. The first item is the Merit Great Skin Instant Glow Serum. And I think that this item is absolutely perfect for those of you with maybe a compromised skin barrier. If you just find your skin is really dull, especially this time of year, but I mean, I use it all year round. If your makeup is just not sitting nicely on the skin and you just need some luminosity and kind of a juiciness to the skin without there being a lot of sticky, gloopy product on the skin, this is a really, really beautiful item for that. It is a biphase serum, so it goes down and sinks into the skin in a really lovely way. And I have personally found that there are foundations that just consistently have not looked good on me, and then I prep my skin with this and they look good. So I think it really is a testament to skin prep. Not only skin prep, but the right skin prep product. And this has been a staple in my routine. It is just one of the best. And I truly think that the texture itself is very unique. Now, another item in a similar vein is actually a skincare item. I love using this as a prep product for makeup, but I also use it in my skincare routine as well. This one is like pretty much out. The Rhode Glazing Milk. This is so, so beautiful. This kind of does the same thing as the Merit Great Skin, I would say. This does feel a little bit more like an oil hybrid, whereas this feels a little bit more creamy and milky. And the reason I really love it is it has this kind of almost soothing effect on the skin that I find really, really lovely. When it goes down onto the skin, it kind of leaves this very soft, moisturized plushness. You can really layer it. It is truly an incredible essence to layer. It's not going to break up on the skin. Makeup just goes so. If you deal with dull skin, if you just want more radiant and overall like a balanced, healthy skin barrier, I couldn't recommend this one enough. And I don't think it can even be understated how much I love this, because my skin really, really loves it, but makeup just goes so beautifully on top of it. I don't think that anything is really perfect in the world, but I do think that it's by far one of the best prep products I've ever used, skincare products I've ever used. I just think it's that good. But as far as other prep products, for the lips, I wanted to include this one because I thought it'd be kind of interesting. I did just pick this up in the Sephora Savings event, but it's the Dr. Dennis Gross Plump and Repair Lip Treatment. Now, this is essentially a lip plumper. It's pretty intense as well. I love that it has this kind of rubberized nozzle at the top. It glides on the lips really beautifully. It leaves a very glossy finish. But what I find particularly lovely about it is it really adds volume to the lips. Like, it definitely gives them a plump effect, but it doesn't leave your lips looking kind of raw. Like, I think that some really intense lip plumpers can do that. They just kind of leave this kind of inflamed, awkward look on the lips, especially if you don't have super clean lip lines like I don't. And this, I think, just has the perfect balance. So what I'll do is, like, as I'm prepping the rest of my makeup, I'll use this like in the beginning of my routine, and then by the end of my routine, I can kind of take off the excess and then go ahead and with my lip products. And I just find that I'm getting a little bit more of a voluminous look without kind of running the risk of my lips looking chapped or dry or inflamed or all of those things. So it really has solved that issue for me. It is a very good one. And lastly, I had to mention my favorite sunscreen within this section. I wanted to do that because you guys often ask me for makeup prep products with SPF in them. And this sunscreen from Eson is just absolutely beautiful. I've loved it for years. I've gone through, I don't even know how many bottles of this, like maybe 7, 8. It's just absolutely incredible. And it is the Kiss Me Mama sunscreen. It is a chemical filter sunscreen, but I gotta tell you, it is one of the most soothing sunscreens I've ever used. No burning on the eyes, lightweight kind of lotion texture. It doesn't leave this really slippy finish on the skin. I actually have another one over here. Like I really truly use it a ton. It can be difficult to find sometimes, so I'll leave a link down below to it, and honestly, all of the products that I'm talking about today. And if you do want to help make my videos possible and support my channel, using those links does help me out. So of course, no pressure to do that, but thank you guys so much. Like, thank you to the people that do that. I really appreciate it. I gotta tell you, it just is an absolutely incredible product, and I will continue to repurchase it. Sunscreen is just so important, and when you find such a bomb formula, like, you just hold on to it. You just gotta hold on to it. For foundation item, favorite that I've loved for literally years and continues to be my most recommended foundation ever on my channel, I think, is the Shiseido Radiant Lifting Foundation. If this is the first time that you have been on my channel and you have not tried this, I gotta tell you, this is one of the best longwear foundations you will find on the market, period. The reason being is that this offers both a radiant medium coverage finish that also lasts and moves with the skin. The kind of self-refreshing quality of the Synchro Skin line just basically means that it is a foundation that continues to wear really evenly as you're going on with your day. So if you have more dry skin and your foundation tends to get cakey and crackle off, this continues to kind of like rehydrate itself. Or you can also get the original version, and that does this kind of thing where it just almost creates this soft, diffused look to the skin as you continue to wear it. It almost like it has this like equilibrium process. It basically is just a very, very good longwear foundation. So I wanted to recommend this one because it just feels I'm amiss if I don't talk about it. But let's also talk about a newer launch, which is the Revital Essence Skin Glow from Shiseido. I was like, I gotta try this one out when they immediately released it. I'm so glad that they did. And by the way, my shade in both the Shiseido foundations is 140. It's actually a really nice shade match for me. I will say that if you want kind of the day-to-day version of like the Radiant Lifting foundation, I definitely think you will get that with this. This to me feels like it's more of a water-based foundation. It's very fluid and light. What I really love about it is it almost kind of reminds me of like the Kogan Do Aqua foundation or the Makeup Forever Reboot foundation. It's very lightweight on the skin. It kind of feels like water, but you can build and build and build these layers, and it just continues to look like skin. So if you are a lover of natural makeup and you have not tried this, I think that this is one of those foundations that just will continue to look like skin while also offering this really soft radiance, coverage where you need it. And really, I think that this was a great addition to Shiseido's line of base products because their Synchro Skin tint was not good in my opinion. I did not really like that one. This to me actually feels innovative. I just love the watery kind of texture, how lightweight it is on the skin, but also perfecting. Just a really lovely product, especially if you're a natural makeup lover, but you hate like how a lot of skin tints feel really thick on the skin. This is going to be especially great for you because it feels so lightweight. Another very lightweight foundation as well, the Bosma foundation, this stick foundation. You know what? I think that oftentimes I'm expecting a little bit of like a cakey look with a skin tint stick or like a stick foundation in general. I think that sometimes they can have a little bit of like this kind of creamy clay, just a little bit of that heavy kind of feel on the skin. And sometimes as you continue to wear them, they just kind of look like stage makeup. This is the epitome of beautiful natural looking skin. I love it because it's fast, it layers beautifully on the skin, it's blendable, but also if you kind of just like take it in the areas you need it, like a spot concealer, let it sit for like 30 seconds and then blend, you can kind of optimize the coverage and really also customize it. I think that this is truly like the best foundation stick that I've ever used, and consistently when I want just a very middle of the road kind of finish, like a nice satin finish that looks like skin. Like I don't want the apparentness of my makeup to be exaggerated. This is an absolutely beautiful product to do that. And I also like that if I want to, I can really build it up and I'm getting more coverage where I need it, and I can get also a nice flawless look with it. But I think that, again, this is just one of the best that I've used in a long time. Such a kind of understated or underrated product. A couple of more skin tint kind of items, and then we got to get into concealer. We have the Kosas Revealer Foundation. It's a classic. Ever since I used it, I have really fallen in love with it. I think if you want a very dewy, creamy, medium coverage, without silicone that kind of has these skincare benefits to it, I would say that this is a great way to go. If you have been looking into this kind of merge of skincare and foundation, I think that the Kosas foundation as well as the concealer are a really good way to get into it because they give you that beautiful medium coverage, but the actual look of your skin, like the performance is there. With a lot of clean beauty, I think sometimes the performance is lacking. That's truly not true anymore. There are a lot of clean beauty brands that bring it. Kosas is definitely one of them. And I just love the kind of blurred but dewy finish it like gives my skin. It just looks like that like glazed, pretty optimized skin look. Like on my best skin days, I wish that's what my face looked like, is like the Kosas foundation on my face. I wish my skin always looked like that. And then we have the Bounce Skin Tint from Beauty Blender. Such an underrated favorite. I have truly fallen in love with this product over the year, and I have used it for longer than a year, but I just find that this is so good for that really nice middle of the road but perfected kind of skin tint look. It's more of that kind of satin finish. So if you don't want anything too dewy, this again is a little bit more satin. It's slightly more dewy than like the Bosma foundation, but in general, I find that this is just really great at being a long wear product. And I also like that it isn't quite as expensive as something like the Shiseido Synchro Skin, which this one is I think around 50 bucks, whereas this is like 29. So I mean, truthfully, the Shiseido is always going to be like the #1 holy grail, but I also absolutely love when my skin has this on it. I just find that all night I'm getting like a really nice perfected look. Now, concealer. It's two concealers, and I think a lot of you guys know these two picks, so these aren't gonna really be a surprise. But if you have deep set dark under eyes, either the serum concealer from Tower 28 is the way to go, or my favorite for a long time, the Kosas Revealer Concealer. It's just going to depend on what you want as far as the texture and the finish. So if you want something with a little bit of a lighter kind of spreadable texture with a little bit more crease resistant, something that's not quite as dewy, I would go with the Tower 28. It has this really beautiful kind of flattening effect under the eyes that I have always really loved about it. I love that it's a very concentrated product, but also has this really nice kind of spreadability and blendability. I think there's also caffeine in here, which I'm tending to find that like caffeine in under eye concealers, like my skin just particularly likes it. It has this kind of deep puffing effect. I think a lot of concealers just do not hit. I mean, I try probably at least 10 concealers a year, and very rarely do I find one that I love as much as the Kosas, and I did finally. I think that if you're new to my channel, you might not quite grasp how picky I am with concealers, but just trust me, I am. This is a very, very good one. And then my classic of all time is the Kosas Revealer Concealer. The reason being is that it leaves this really beautiful, radiant finish. It has a gorgeous creaminess, but it also has this light reflection quality that reflects the light back and keeps my under eyes looking not deep set and sunken, and it doesn't kind of settle into my hollow and make me look more tired than I am. Beautiful medium coverage. It's just such a good one. Have repurchased more times than I can even account. Again, it's if they discontinued it, I'd be very, very upset. If either of these were discontinued, I'd be very upset. Honestly, I kind of have anxiety just thinking about it. Let's go ahead and talk about some cheek products. So we have bronzers and blush to talk about. Let's first start with bronzer. So I have actually, this is kind of crazy. Now that I'm like looking at my spread, I have 3 powder bronzers that I wanted to recommend and 1 cream. Here's the thing, with cream bronzer, I found one that I just love so much that I go back to it so often because it's just that good. But with powder bronzers, I've been trying to find new ones to recommend. And these are like the 3 that I think are absolutely gorgeous. And also I will say, I kind of use powder bronzer as a way to set the face, like kind of as a sheer wash of bronze all over the skin. Not like, you know, bronzer to actually set the face, but you know, like in the on the cheeks, on the forehead, like I'm oftentimes skipping powder and then just using a powder bronzer instead. But anyway, so spiel over. Let's talk about the Gucci Soleil bronzer. It's really, really good. I was not expecting to love it as much as I do, but I think that if you want that perfect kind of pink toned for fair skin bronzer, this shade is absolutely beautiful. It's the shade 01. They do have other shades though as well. The formula though is this really, really finely milled, lovely formula that never goes choppy or awkward on the skin. It definitely leans more satin. It's not like a really luminous bronzer in my opinion. Like I actually find I can get some really pretty shape out of this, and it kind of gives me a nice structure to my skin. It feels like a great bronzer if you want a more polished look overall. And the way it looks on the skin to me feels incredibly luxury. If you have, for example, more like combination to oily skin and you're looking for an incredible powder bronzer, I just think that this could be one to keep in mind because it doesn't have a ton of luminosity, but it also is so finely milled and lightweight. I just have a feeling that a lot of different skin types are really going to love this one. So I wanted to recommend it. Also, it reminds me of that locket from the Anastasia movie. Every time I look at this, I think of that movie and also my sister. So just, it's beautiful. Just, yeah, one of my favorite packaged products like ever, like as far as packaging goes. But side note, we'll do a little high-low moment. Also, the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer, this is the fair shade. I mean, I used this a ton as well. The main difference I'm seeing like from like these 2 formulas, just to do a little comparison, is that this is way more, there's just not as much of a slip to it. So it's not going to be quite as like blurring on the skin necessarily. However, it looks really lightweight and airy and feathery. It blends so beautifully, and it is more light pigment comparatively to the Gucci, which I think sometimes is nice. Sometimes you want to take like a big fat brush, dunk it in the bronzer, and kind of like go all over the skin. And I think that this is a really beautiful product for that. You guys know that when I find my picks for the year, or in general on my channel, I just go for the absolute best formulas I can find. And oftentimes, I mean, you do get what you pay for sometimes with more expensive products, but here's the deal. Like, the formulas need to wow me despite the price point. So what I'm trying to say here and reiterate, because I think it's just really important, like it's an important stance that I have on my channel. This is an absolutely beautiful formula in and of itself. I need the formulation to wow me, and this formulation has. Lastly, we also have the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer. This is the light shade. And again, it's just one of those powder bronzers that is incredibly lightweight. Almost, the texture is almost something between the L'Oreal and the Gucci. I have personally found that this gets hard pan pretty easily, which is my only downside to it, but it does have this really pretty smoothing effect. It's just incredibly blendable, which with powder bronzers, they gotta be blendable, or bronzers in general. They need to be blendable, because when I have like a really choppy look on my cheeks, I notice it. And because in general, like I have hair on my cheeks, I have like textural issues, like I have skin that has needs, you know what I mean? And my skin needs a bronzer that can work with that. And the last bronzer, which is a cream, is from Charlotte Tilbury, the Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer. You guys, it's very rare that this happens within my makeup collection because I'm constantly trying new products. But I gotta tell you, probably like 7 times out of 10 this year, if there was a bronzer on my face, it was probably this one. And the reason being is that it just has this really luxurious, creamy texture to it that also goes down and sets on the skin. It doesn't remain really dewy. It doesn't want to slip around on the skin. Where you place it, it will stick, but it's also blendable. So it has that really nice balance without it feeling overly dewy, without it not offering a blur. Like, this goes above and beyond, in my opinion. One of the best formulas. And again, I've tried so many that I just had to recommend this one. And there are others I've used for sure, but you know, Best of Beauty, I feel like if I wanted you to buy one, it would be this one. So that's why I would go ahead and just recommend that one. Now, as far as blush goes, I think, you know what, let's start off with a favorite that I don't think anyone is going to see coming. This is from Undone Beauty. It is their Mega Creams palette, and this is the Neapolitan one. The reason I'm going to go ahead and recommend this one is, one, I love the Undone Beauty cream blush formula, and this has, oh God. All right, so ignore that big finger nail stamp in there, but the actual cream blush formula is really pretty because it has this kind of translucence to it. There are some cream blush formulas that are out now that I feel like they go kind of milky on the skin. There's a lot of base pigment to them, but these still have a little bit of this kind of jelly translucence. So they go onto the skin, they let the skin shine through. They're definitely more on the dewy side, I would say, but they kind of leave this just soft radiance. I love that they look like true skin natural makeup. Truly looks like great moisturized skin. It just makes the quality of your skin look better. And this one, by the way, also does have like a cream highlight that is actually good. So you can get a lot of use out of a big palette like this. I just absolutely love that formula. I also love the shade Rosewood within like the singles. Like, I love the Undone Beauty cream blush singles as well as like a palette like this, but I just think that this palette as a whole is really pretty, so I wanted to recommend it. And I just found myself reaching for it a lot, like doing like more of a satin finish, and then at the very end, like even doing a powder bronzer at the very end, taking a sponge, dunking in, and then just adding this little bit of luminosity right on top. And I have just really loved it. Now, another favorite that I don't think a lot of you are going to expect, because I haven't mentioned this one a lot on my channel. It's from RMS. It is their Redimension Hydra Powder Blush, and this is in Maiden's Blush. I gotta pick out another shade. It is the blush that I'm wearing today. I really want to get, I think, Pomegranate Fizz. Also, is that not like a delicious name? That's a really good name. Like, it's kind of making my mouth water a little bit. It has this gorgeous luminosity on the skin while also blurring it. It's kind of like, it's like a gel powder that's been baked. So you also don't have to worry about it picking up too much pigment and kind of stamping on the skin. It does this beautiful job of kind of washing over. And again, if you think about like baked blush products, like something that I think people really love about a baked blush is that it kind of has this blurring effect while also being luminous. This takes that to this completely new level because it almost looks like it rehydrates on the skin to look almost like creamy. Just such a gorgeous, gorgeous formula. I couldn't overstate how impressed I've been by it. By the way, you guys know these? The Roppolo, like they're like basically like coconut Ferrero Rochers. And look, they look like little snowballs. They taste like coconut. And there's also, I think, still a macadamia nut in here. Oh my gosh. Kind of tastes like coconut cake. If you like coconut cake. Okay, so we have one more powder blush formula before we jump into creams. The Dior blushes, I think the reason why they are so well loved in my collection is again, the base, like there's a lack of a really heavy base pigment to these. I hate when this one does that. It came out of the bottom, like the glue doesn't stick there anymore, which, you know, for Dior, I'm expecting better, but honestly, I think it's because I like kept dropping it. But these kind of let your skin shine through and it almost becomes this beautiful product to kind of add this pop, extra layer of color that feels like it's truly coming from within your skin. Like I just love how thin the formula is and then how translucent that base pigment is, while also like depending on what shade you get, there's more or less pigment. But like for example, this coral shade, it looks like nothing on the skin, but then you put it on. I'll add a little bit to show you guys. You put it on and it just like has this extra layer of like brightness. Do you guys see how like over here, like this is, I really love this, but do you see how there's this extra pop of kind of like overall, I think the best way I can describe it is it's almost like a natural lit from within blush kind of shining and peeking through the skin in this really lovely way. The shade Cherry was like my most loved of the summer. I would add it like right in here to like the tops of my cheekbones and in here to kind of look like the sun had been hitting me, and I loved it. I would add it to my nose as well. It's just such a beautiful cherry red. And again, you can really control like how much pigment you actually want out of a blush like this. But I gotta tell you, like it will kind of, these blushes will make you overall look like you're wearing less makeup because it kind of looks like your skin is like shining through this really, really lovely way. And then lastly, a highlight. Only one highlight this year. It is the Glow Glide Face Architect from Charlotte Tilbury. I tried this out, you know, almost a year ago now. And the reason I have continued to love this one in specific is that it is so thin and it truly is like a powder on the skin. There's really not much of like a glitter throughout this. It's more of just pure sheen. Really sculpts the skin in this really lovely way. You know, as far as like foundations, between cream blushes and cream bronzers and foundations, I can definitely get a dewy look if I want it, and my cheeks can look dewy and fresh just from the products that I'm already using. I need a highlight to do something a little bit extra, and I'm finding that this offers this really pretty blur and this extra bit of polish to the skin in a way that I just find really unique. And I think that Charlotte Tilbury did a great job with this one. I think the formula is really excellent. Oh crap, I forgot to talk about the other cream blushes. Another Charlotte Tilbury product, the Matte Beauty Blush Wands, really, really good. Just so spreadable and easy to work with. Think like Rare Beauty liquid blushes, but taken down a notch and a little bit easier to work with because in general, there's kind of less pigment. They're matte, but the finish isn't like flat matte. It's like not mattifying. They call them easy liquid blushes. I think they just are really easy to work with. And I found myself reaching for them a lot over the year. Now, I really like these for more of like a polished look, but if I want to go a little bit juicier with my cheek look or I want more of a lip stain kind of look, like a cheek stain, I mean, the Smashbox Halo Sheer to Stay color tint. You can use this on the cheeks and on the lips. I love the shade Mai Tai, but I love a lot of the shades. I have a few, and it lasts really long. It's like the most easy to work with cheek stain you will ever use because it does have, like, it comes out in a tube. It's more like it has a creaminess to it, is what I'm saying. It kind of blots down and it just looks like really pretty, like jammy stained skin in just a really lovely way. I love the shades too because they're so brightening. One of the most underrated products as far as cream blushes go, as far as like cheek stains go. I don't hear anyone talking about them and I'm just like, I can't figure out why, because it's like with cheek stains and lip stains becoming so popular over the year, I don't know why more people haven't tried this and fallen in love, because it is pretty perfect. And again, though the formula has like substance, it goes on to the skin looking really thin and translucent and has that really beautiful staining kind of look. So I think that that makes for a very unique one overall. Before we jump into eye products, I also wanted to call out two bronzers. One is the Kosas Cloud Set. That is such a beautiful powder. If you just want a really light, airy set to the makeup, you don't want to actually take away the luminosity of the skin. Like it's not going to look like a bunch of powder on the skin. It just kind of very softly sets it. Or if you're worried about like products skipping on the skin, or if you just like overall to set your entire makeup look before you go in with other items, that is definitely the powder that I would recommend for that because it is so airy and lightweight. If you want something like the Kosas Cloud Set, but you just want it in a loose powder form that's like just a touch thicker, I would say, just because of like the delivery method, I think is part of that. I would say the Rare Beauty setting powder is also a beautiful way to go. This is the one that I've been reaching for a lot lately. And I really like it because it doesn't look like a lot of powder on the skin, but I do find that this is more of a sure set than the Kosas. The Kosas is great for people that like do not really like powder. And then if you sometimes appreciate a powder, you want a little bit more security within a powder, but again, you do like something that still looks really airy on the skin and lightweight, I think the Rare Beauty might be better. Both are beautiful. But now let's get into eyes. Let's first talk about some palettes. My palettes. Now, I tried out a lot of palettes this year. These are my favorite. First of all, I would be amiss if I didn't come out right out of the gate and say the Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette is so beautiful. The fact that she came out with a neutral palette that feels inspired. I mean, the mix of the putty textures with the powders that you can set and really create like a smoldery, blended, but again, long wearing look. It's just so good. And the color, like the shade selections, truly have these different like undertones that mimic the colors. Like within this one, this is the shade Bark. Like you can see the cream component with Bark is like a little bit darker, and I've always really liked that about this palette. I think it's just one of the most inspired neutral palettes I've ever used, period. It's just so good. If you are someone that feels like you are missing that true workhorse palette, that matte palette, and you love mixing these textures, like these cream colors as well as powders, like you want both options, I mean, you'll get that with this palette. Now, I do have like the mattes on my eyes are Danessa Myricks Groundwork, but the sparkles that are on my eyes are the Moondust palette, the new one that came out this year. And this specifically is the Space Rider palette. I used a Space Cowboy and Wild Dipper on my eyes today, and they are just, they're so beautiful. You guys know how much I love a wet sparkle. Urban Decay continues to kill it. They know what they're doing with a wet sparkle. They understand that they need translucence, you need contrast, and I'm so happy that they decided to like expand the Moondust line this year and come out with these palettes. If you are just getting into wet eyeshadows especially, like I feel like you could get this palette and like call it a day. Like it's just so inclusive of a lot of different undertones. Like this one's more yellow, this is a little bit more beigey, this is more pink, this is a little bit more smoky. Like you just have the perfect glossy wet looking eyeshadow glitter topper for any look that you could ever want. So I really have loved this one. Next up, the Lorac Noir palette. I also talked about this one a lot. Think about this one, to me, is like a combination of the Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette and the Moondust palette from Urban Decay. Like, for me, it kind of like has it all. I absolutely fell head over heels for this palette this year. Now, admittedly, these mattes are not like Natasha Denona quality. And believe me, we'll talk about Natasha Denona in a second, because I gotta tell you, that's my favorite matte formula I've ever used. But I will say that like the mattes have great pigmentation, they're blendable. The shimmers within here, they have enough translucence to them that they can actually go wet and glossy and glittery on the eyes. And the shade selection in here is also so beautiful. The palette is so versatile it's like small but powerful, you know what I mean? But you also have some more like satins in here and metallics. I could not love it more. And as far as like, if you're a lover of a neutral to cool toned eyeshadow palette as a whole, like I am, this is going to be your best friend, because it is just so good. The fact that this is $39 is kind of crazy to me. Last favorite of the year was the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. Number one, I gotta tell you, the mattes just sing. They sing on the eyes. They're so blendable, but they pack the pigment. Like, for me, they don't blend away into nothing, and I feel like that, like, they're not so powdery the way like the Makeup by Mario formula is, for example. Like, these want to build structure in a look. They want to layer on top of themselves and really give you that pigment. And the glitters in here, you can go from a really beautiful, soft, everyday glossy lid to really impactful, wet, intense eyes. And it's such a super beautiful palette. And I have found that like, if I'm wearing this on camera, someone is usually commenting and asking me what is on my eyes. Like, I just find that a lot of people really gravitate towards and love the looks specifically that I create with this palette. So I wanted to let you guys know that I think like out of your comments, this has been the most loved, like as far as like the looks that I've created. I'll never be able to travel with this because a couple of the shades have like popped out. So unfortunately, I'm upset that like the palette in general is like so fragile, but I will say it's like also still one of my favorites. Now, as far as cream eyeshadows, the one that I wanted to recommend that's liquid is from About Face. They're the matte fluid eye paints. Specifically, the Smell Before Rain shade is pretty much my main shade of shadow that I will use to prep my lids. Like, if I want my entire eye look to last all day and really just give it that longevity, that is the one that I will use. And it is so beautiful. It never goes crackly. Again, it just adds this beautiful shape to the lids. It's like a light olive beige, really unique shade as well. But I couldn't recommend that one enough. I think it's such a beautiful workhorse product. And I think that workhorse products as a whole, they don't get enough love. That is one of those products that it might be like boring, like, but I gotta tell you, when you look at the end product, you start to notice these little things. And I always find that I notice when I'm using that. Also, I wanted to recommend the Bobbi Brown Stick Shadows. There are a lot of different shades, but any of the matte shades I think are the way to go. They're so blendable, and they also set down on the eyes, so you're not left wondering if your eye makeup is creasing. It's a great like long wear item. I personally love using them as like a one and done shadow look, like the matte ones, because I'll kind of take it under the eyes, I'll take it all over the lid, just use a crease brush and blend it all out. And I just find that consistently it's a very smooth, like model off duty, one and done kind of eye look. Like they perform, they really do. You get what you pay for with those. And 2 single shadows. You know, I used my Moondust palette a lot, but if I'm going for like a one and done shadow look this year, or if I have, it was probably one of these 2 shades. So this is actually not the shade that I used, but it is this product. It is the Hourglass Scattered Light in the shade Ray. I think this spring, if I was wearing anything on my eyes that was like a one and done sparkly shadow, it was probably Hourglass Ray. It is so gorgeous. The sparkle of it, it's like a soft, sophisticated sparkle. And I love that on my skin, I'm more fair. It adds enough definition to the eyes while also in general not being a very impactful eye look necessarily. Like it's not something that is a statement necessarily. It's a touch warmer, so I just find that like for the springtime, it was really pretty. I haven't used it in a while because admittedly I haven't been able to find it, but it was definitely one of my most used single shadows. And I think that if you are a lover of these really beautiful glittery toppers, that shade in specific is beautiful. But I also love the shade Vivid from Hourglass. This one, I don't think the sparkles reflect as wet, but it's still that really pretty sophisticated sparkle. And lastly, we have the Kulfi Bronze Brocade Zari Eyes eyeshadow. Such an interesting formula to this shadow. It's kind of like a gel cream, but what's beautiful about it is that it goes like, it feels kind of wet going onto the eyes. It's kind of interesting, but it also has like these different weights of glitters in here. So it kind of adds this scattered effect on the eyes that's really pretty. And the base bronze actual cream of this is gorgeous. Like it just blends beautifully, but then sets down so it lasts really well. It's a beautiful, nice pigment, but I love this shade in particular because you can kind of like build it up and get more of a smoky effect, but you can also sheer it out and get this really soft brown like definition with those pretty glitters. Oh, it's so great. I really, really enjoy it. As far as mascaras go, these were the two big ones. The Tower 28 Make Waves, which is on my eyes right now, and then also the Levitation Lash from Richwell to Fee. Both are absolutely stunning. If you want more of a fluffy lash, I say go with the Richwell to Fee Levitation Lash. It's going to give you this really, just in general, angel eyes, kind of coy, soft, fluffy lash look while also giving you a nice lift. I also find that it wears really pretty as well. So if you prefer a little bit more of a fluffy lash, you like a natural bristle wand, it is such a good one. And I don't hear anyone talking about it. It just blows my mind. It's such an underrated hidden gem in my opinion. So beautiful. But if you want a little bit more of that sky high effect, like that really wide awake lash look, those really, really long lashes, I think that the Tower 28 might be a better way to go. You can really, really build that one up and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Very black formula. And again, it just kind of does this beautiful job of widening the eyes and giving you just a really wide awake, pretty lash look. And honestly, every time I wear this, I feel like someone's like, but what's on your lashes? Or like, are those your real lashes? And usually it's like the Tower 28 Make Waves when I'm doing that. It's such a beautiful lengthening mascara that you can also build up to, again, get a little bit more volume. Now, before we get into kind of odds and ends, let's talk about lips. Ooh, did I try a lot of lip products this year. Number one, the lip product that is on my lips right now is the Refy Lip Blur in Cinnamon. If you love a blotted lip, but you want something that kind of just, it has a smoothness but a luminosity, but also doesn't kind of leave this weird ring around the lips like a lot of silicone heavy lip products do that. This doesn't do it, and it is such a beautiful blurred, kind of soft, pillowy look on the lips. I love the shades too because you can go for a little bit of a richer color like this, and because of the formula, it still doesn't look like a huge statement. I highly recommend them. I think a lover of a blotted lip will absolutely jive with this one. And the lip liner I'm wearing today is the Nude Rose lip liner from Jones Road. I think that the Jones Road lip liners, again, are an underrated hidden gem. They are so soft. The colors, like they have a beautiful nude shade for everyone. They're so nuanced. They're creamy, but you can also really get this perfected or like, you know, more structured lip look. More people should talk about those lip liners in my opinion because they're really, really easy to work with. And I just find that when I line my lips with those liners, I'm getting a good lip look for the day. They're truly, truly good. And again, like lip liners, like I don't think a lot of people really covet lip liners necessarily, like, but I know that there are like the classic ones that everyone goes back to. I think this should be one of those classic lip liners like that more people talk about because they are that good. It's probably my most used lip formula of the year were the Hourglass Glossy Volumizing Balms. They are epic. They're absolutely beautiful. They have a really beautiful glossy finish, but within this gorgeous balm texture. So they're comfortable, but they add this beautiful glossiness. They're enveloping, but they also don't go gloopy or heavy on the lips. They're hydrating. And they have more precision because the actual tube, like the applicator, is thinner. So you can still be relatively precise with them, which I think makes a huge difference. I just love the kind of glossy light that they bring to the lips. As far as like glossy balm, gloss stick formulas go, this is one of the most comfortable, glossy, and has the most insane beautiful shades. Like Hourglass did it right with this formula. Like if I could recommend one lip product of the year, it would be these. They are that good. As for lip stains, I had a few different lip formulas that I was going for. So I really enjoy the Rare Beauty lip stains, or they call them lip oils, but they're essentially a glasting formula popular in Korea, which essentially means when they go on the lips, they kind of go on like a normal lip stain would, and then they kind of create this water barrier effect that goes glossy, which is really pretty. I love the shades within the Rare Beauty line, and I find myself using them a lot, especially because I can kind of get a more precise lip look. Like I find a lip stain will give you an all-in-one lip look. Like you're not going to necessarily need a liner if you have a good lip stain that also has a good like precise applicator to it. And I also like that lip stains are very thin on the lips. Like sometimes you don't want a glossiness. And this eventually, like the glossiness of this will fade. I think that they're really beautiful, but also like I have some of my K-beauty favorites here, which is the Glasting Water Tint from Romand. The shade Rose Stream is an absolute favorite. Really cushiony on the lips, not drying, but again, it kind of goes down to that more glossy finish eventually. I actually find that this one is glossier than the Rare Beauty. But if you want even more glossiness, I would go with the Romand Juicy Lasting Tint. The shade Dark Coconut is like such a beautiful neutral shade. For me, it's definitely been the year of the lip stain, and those were my top favorites. But if you want something between a lip stain and a blotted lip, the 3CE Blur Tint is so cool. I really love it. Again, it's more of a matte finish with a blur, but again, it kind of goes on in this really watery lip stain effect. Like the formula is so interesting. I think more people need to check out 3CE because they are just, in my opinion, they are one of the best K-beauty brands out there. The formulas I think are so exceptional and innovative. And the shade Laydown, like if I want the everyday neutral, I didn't try kind of lip look, it's probably gonna be this. And next we have the Merit Signature Lip. You guys, I'm not gonna stick here for too long because I talk about these a lot on my channel, but I have to keep calling out this signature lip formula because to me, it is a timeless lip formula and lip product because it is so middle of the road. It takes everything that I would want in a lipstick and puts it into one. Because one, it's a very satin formula. So it's comfortable, it's not really glossy, it's not really matte, so perfect for every day. Two, the pigmentation is not over the top. So again, great for every day. It's still going to add structure to the lips, but it's not also too intense that it kind of takes over a look. You can apply these with or without a mirror. I love the shades. Merit did an absolutely insane, incredible job with the shades. They are so unique and dialed in. And as a whole, I think align with a good formula, but with shades that are really on the nose and awkward looking, it kind of just like defeats the purpose. I think that some brands get that wrong. Merit managed to create a really beautiful, everyday classic lip formula in shades that are very good. So I had to recommend these again. As far as lip balmy kind of products, we'll get into one lip gloss because I feel like that was like the main lip gloss that I used. I'm only gonna mention one, which is kind of crazy to me, but these were the main kind of like lip balmy kind of products I used. The Naturium Phyto Glow lip balms are so, so good. I just found myself using them a lot. They're so pretty for like that just wash of color when you also know that your lips need some help. They do such a beautiful job of that. You can also get you can get ones with shades. They also have like a clear version. They have some of the new nudes. In general, it's a formula that is enveloping and protective on the lips that also has beautiful cosmetic elegance. I'm really excited that they expanded the shade range of the line because I think that they were missing some nude shades and they finally delivered that. I think that they are such a beautiful, affordable staple. I will continue to use them into 2024. Next, the Thornbite Peptide Plump Lip Cream Oils from Rituel de Fille. Such a weird formula in the best way, guys. It is kind of like, for me, it feels like a whipped lip oil that goes on in this really creamy and enveloping way. It feels so nourishing and nice on the lips, but also offering like quite a lot of pigment. To me, it's like an updated version of a liquid lip formula. Like it takes the glossiness that a lot of folks love in these like gloss stick formulas, and then it applies that to more of a high pigment like liquid lipstick kind of thing. Like it meshes the two in this really lovely way. Great shades as well, which Rituel de Fille just does such a great job with shades. And lastly, we have the Nivea Bordeaux lip balm. I just think if you want that perfect throw it in the bag kind of black cherry, black honey kind of vibe, I still think that this is one of the best ones you can get. It is difficult to find though. So I'll leave a link down below to it, but I think that a lot of you, if you enjoy these kind of black cherry shades, there's a good chance that you'll love this. And lastly, we have one more lip stain product and then a gloss. Let's talk about the gloss first. It's Fenty Hot Chocolate Heat. It's just like the perfect cool toned gloss. And if I'm going for a gloss to add on top of a look, it's usually this one. It just adds the perfect edge to every look. It also adds a great voluminous like water droplet effect to the lips. It's just freaking fantastic. I could not recommend it enough. And I did a whole video on shades that were similar to this. And you know what? Some are similar, but there isn't like an exact dupe for this. On its own, I think it's so perfect. And then lastly, the Palladio Lip Stain Liner. Well, listen, it's a lip stain in a marker. I love overlining my lips with this because it's a stain. You can't really see where your lip lines start and stop. Like it makes over cheating really easy, but also it lasts. And it's really easy to work with, and it's affordable. This shade is really good too. I'll leave this shade down below. These come in and out of stock like really randomly. It's hard to find sometimes, but I definitely think it's worth it. I have repurchased. This was the first one I had. The new one is upstairs. Finally, let's talk about some odds and ends. I gotta shout out a couple of brushes. You guys always ask me what like my favorite brushes are. For powder products, like for blush, bronzer, powders, I'm using the BK and Angie Hot and Flashy brush. This is the A507 brush, and it just washes the products over the skin so beautifully. It's angled and fluffy, but again, there's a little bit more control with it as well. I also absolutely love the 109 brush. This is more of a flat kind of paw. I think cat paw, or I think that's what they're called. But this is beautiful for more like cream cheek products to kind of like stamp it and like really melt them into the skin. It does such a beautiful, beautiful job with those. You can see it's pretty thin, so you can get more control as well. And I just love, like, if you love to kind of press product in, which I think is kind of a secret tip I always give you guys, like for cream products. If you're like, oh, like they never want to blend on my skin or they pick up my foundation, pressing them in with a brush like this is going to give you such a beautiful and like seamless look. And then lastly, I mean, I gotta tell you, the BK eye brushes are the best eye brushes I've ever used. Like even this brush, the 211 brush, it's like a really thin crease brush, so great for like detail work. But the 208 liner brush from BK, I've been mentioning more of this lately because it's actually in stock. It like was out of stock for so long. It is the ultimate liner brush. I can't overstate how good this is and how crisp it will make your liner looks. I use it with powders though. So if you guys have seen over the past year, I feel like I really leaned into a powder wing and more of like a smoky winged liner. I was just using like powders most of the time or like a cream shadow, and this made it so easy. And when I can't find this, I kind of go crazy. Like, I love it that much. So I have my iconic Shiseido lash curler. I also love the one from Kevyn Aucoin. You need a good eyelash curler, and both of them have nice wideness so they get the entire lashes. And then they're also gentle on the lashes as well, which a bad eyelash curler can really do some damage to the lashes, and we don't want that. So, and making an investment in a good lash curler, I think cannot be overstated. As far as like some skincare items, the Kosas Chemistry deodorant, as well as I feel like these are kind of like similar thing, or like I really got into AHA products for the body this year. This is the Beachy Clean from Kosas, their deodorant, which for me it doesn't have a smell. Like there's a smell, but it almost kind of just smells like chemical exfoliant to me. Like I know what a chemical exfoliant smells like now, and that's what it smells like to me. I just find it not only does a good job of like controlling odor, but because there are AHAs in here, like I feel like it keeps my armpits clear, which I really appreciate. And then speaking of like clear armpits or all over the body, like especially the bikini line, the Topicals Ingrown Hair Tonic. This is the first one I have. The second one is like halfway gone, but this has done it for me. It was in Best of Beauty last year. It continues to be a product that I cannot get enough of because it has truly helped me with my ingrown hairs, keeping them at bay and then really helping to heal them. And it's in a roller, so like it just makes it so easy to roll right onto the body. Highly, highly recommend it because I think that it's one of those skincare items that like I just saw such a huge difference from. Two more skincare items and then like some body items. The Peace Out Acne Patches. Y'all, they're still the best out there. They are the best out there because they actually they get everything out. You know, some of them are so thin that they just don't do anything. These are for those really stubborn, got a lot of stuff in the pore kind of pimples. Wear them overnight right when you think a pimple is starting to come to a head. It will make a pimple come to a head, or when it's already like at a head, it'll just take everything right out. There's also salicylic acid in here, which is great because it helps to clear up breakouts. But there's also aloe as well, which is nice because it's kind of soothing. Seriously, a lot of pimple patches come out all the time. I feel like every brand has their own hydrocollotic patch at this point. These are still the best, like by far still the best. They're expensive, but like you can even cut them in half. Like that's what I do because they're pretty big. They're really, guys, they're really that good. And then lastly, more products for acne, which I am 30 years old and I still get acne. This is so good for underground pimples. So this is the Clear Daily Treatment from Paula's Choice. It's the 2.5% benzoyl peroxide. First of all, this is gonna last me forever. You do not need a lot. It's kind of like just like a gel. Just taking a little bit of this onto areas where I tend to get more hormonal acne, those kind of nodule kind of pimples that are so painful. This does a beautiful job of not over stripping or overdoing it while also helping to clear those up. You want to use a benzoyl peroxide when you're dealing with those because salicylic acid doesn't work as well. But you don't need a high percentage, and a lot of brands just do too much with benzoyl peroxide. They're like, we're gonna make it 10%. It can really, really dry out the skin because like benzoyl peroxide in general is pretty intense. But this is a lower dose and it's also a very thin texture. So it's really easy to kind of layer into a routine, which is really nice. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it, but I picked it up on a whim and I'm so glad that I did. Next, we have the Caudalie Smooth and Glow Elixir. So I literally just got this like, I think a month and a half ago, and I've used so much already. So it smells like prickly pear, but it almost has this kind of, I think that this might scare some people away from it, but I think it's important to know. For me, it smells like prickly pear and a little bit of like body odor, but not like BO. Like I can't describe it. I want to say it's kind of like an animalistic smell, but I have to tell you, it's kind of it smells like pheromones, I think. Like prickly pear mixed with pheromones. It is pretty sexy in my opinion. Ugh, I just can't get enough of it. Sometimes I'll just take this and like put it in my bath while I'm taking a bath, and like it just leaves this gorgeous prickly pear like soft smell. I'm so glad that I have this. It does a good job of hydrating the skin, but not leaving the skin feeling really oily and slippy. Highly recommend it. And then when I'm in the shower, I'm using the Fleur Missing Person body wash. This is like a brand new one, and it's beautiful. If you love a musk smell, if you love that like fresh laundry scent, I want to lather myself in it all the time. And I usually use this in the shower, and then I coat myself in Fleur Missing Person, the fragrance. Like I love both. And by the way, the reason I'm not talking about fragrance in this video in specific is that I already have a dedicated video to my favorite fragrances of 2023. So I will leave that video down below for you guys, because it is very important that I think you guys go and check that out if you love fragrance. And then 2 hair care products. First of all, the Color Wow Dream Coat continues to be a favorite, and it's just that good. If you want a lightweight but really shiny hair effect, this will give you that, because it's a heat protectant. So what you're gonna do is wash your hair, you're gonna coat your hair in this, and then you need to use a little bit of heat and tension, and you're going to get like glassy hair. It forms right over the hair and creates this really smooth, glassy look, and not leaving this really greasy effect either. So sometimes you just don't want to add more moisture. Like you want a product that isn't adding all this extra moisture to your hair. And that's what brings me to the next item I really love. So I like to heat, style, like refresh my hair throughout the week. And the Day Agave Dry Heat and Hold Styling Mist is so good for that, because I find that a lot of heat protectants are just generally really moisturizing and oily. And again, I want to protect the entirety of my head of hair. And you know, for the ends, I love a moisturizing product, but up here, I don't want like a ton of extra moisture. Just enough, you know what I mean? And this Dry Heat and Hold mist is so good for that. It's not crunchy, which a lot of heat protectant mists also tend to be really crunchy and like gritty in the hair. This is so good. It's not gritty, it's lightweight, and it just smooths right into the hair beautifully. And also, and just in general, smells really good. Like, what is that smell? It's kind of like a creamsicle. It's like kind of like an orange creamsicle. It's really lovely. And that, my friends, is everything for Best of Beauty 2023. I am so excited for 2024 and all of the makeup that it is bringing us. I want to take this opportunity right at the end of the video, if you're still watching, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here on my channel. I don't get like super personal, but I have to tell you that this year in particular has been a pretty intense one for me. And I have to say that through the entire year, something that was really steadfast for me was you all and what I do here. And it continues to be invigorating for me and a source of joy, truly work that I love. And I just continue to feel so grateful for you all each year that I do this. And I wanted to thank you just so much. It means the world to me that you all are here, that you watch my videos, and it just can't be overstated how much that means to me. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to leave timestamps, links, just the whole shebang down below for you all, and I will see you all in my next one.